Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Canelo Alvarez is under pressure to not cherry pick. And I'm going to tell you right now that some people feel that he cherry picked Jaime Munguia. Some people feel he cherry picked Edgar Berlanga. I'm going to tell you this. I think Edgar Berlanga is going to beat Canelo. And if I'm wrong, and people come back and say, just wanted to stop in to tell you you're wrong, I'll be like, you're right. I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem saying that. I just have a feeling Berlanga's going to get him. And this is the thing. You see, when you listen to Canelo, he starts talking about his career. He's the best. He knows he's the best. I don't like to hear that. Because, yeah, as far as being the face of boxing, I get that. If he says, look, I'm the face of boxing, I can handle that. But when he says he's the best boxer, I don't know if I want to accept that. I'm not seeing it that way. But the face of boxing, 100%. And he earned that right by getting in fights, entertaining, making not only boxing fans happy to watch him fight, making his country proud. He grew his brand. He grew his profile. The man learned English. There's a whole lot that can be learned from Canelo Alvarez. A whole lot of positive. But when I hear him talking like that, I ain't the best. I-E-I-O-U, man. Enough with the vowels. Nah, man, I don't think he is. So now he's talking about with his future after Berlanga, because he feels he's going to get in there and just tranquilize Berlanga. I don't see it that way. But now he's talking about, we'll kind of just stop and just take a look and see what's going on, and then I'll think about how I'm going to extend into the future. And, I don't know what his reasons are to want to kind of wait things out and make a decision on who his next opponent's going to be. And a lot of fans are just pissed off about it because at the end of the day, I think people want to see him fight out of everybody. David Benavidez. Everybody. But then there are some who want to see him fight Terrence Crawford. But then there's a few who want to hold him accountable and hold him to his word and say, hey, why not fight Bivol? So when you look at it, I'm not sure what he's going to do. But when you take a look at him fighting Munguia, they're coming to fight Edgar Berlanga, I just think, man, people are frustrated. Because, yeah, Munguia can fight. He got knockouts. Berlanga can fight. He's undefeated. Everything with Berlanga is those first 16 fights, getting all those KOs. Then he went into a bit of a drought. The next 5 fights, then he happened to pick up a knockout win, right? Berlanga getting that knockout win is because he had Angel Heredia in his corner. Let's be real now. And Angel Heredia is the one who's helping Berlanga prepare for Canelo. I'm just telling y'all, man, y'all don't sleep on Berlanga. But the bottom line is, people believe Alvarez is going to still get in there no matter who's helping Berlanga, and he's going to defeat him just like he got in there and defeated Munguia. But I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen because when you look at Canelo, he has slowed down. When you look at his age, he's young. But the man's been fighting pro since he's been 15. You can't walk around here with a record of 61 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, and 39 knockouts and not have some wear and tear on you. You can say, well, in the ring, no one's really put the bing-bings on. Okay, what about sparring? How long this man been sparring? Getting, touched up in the gym and sparring. There's a lot of wear and tear on Canelo Alvarez. And he feels that he's in his prime. I think these are his prime years. But in his prime, I don't think so. I think his prime he's beyond that now. He's not too far beyond it, but he's beyond his prime. And when you talk about his age, I think he does show up in fights. Because he doesn't throw the combinations like he used to. He's flat-footed. He still has the head movement, the upper body movement, but he's really specific on punch placement. And that seems to be the focus. And that's why with him, when he gets in the ring, when he throws, he's throwing to punch through you, to shatter something. to destroy something. And I think he just evolved his style to a point to where it's something that works from him. And he and Eddie Reynoso's had a lot of success. But I think he looks different. I do. And I think even fans are saying, look, he may be young by age, but physically he's not young. But nonetheless, they don't want any cherry picking. They don't want him cherry picking. Because he came out and he admitted when he fought Munguia, who was 43-1 and 34 knockouts, right? You know, Canelo Alvarez went on to knock him down the 4th round, but he went on to say something, man. I admit I backed off knocking out Munguia in the 12th round. That's crazy to me. But he said he admitted to knocking him out because, you know, it was an entertaining fight. They enjoyed the fight, and he just didn't want to embarrass Munguia. Now, that to me, I don't know how to take that. I know it's his fellow countryman. At the end of the fight, Canelo, I think, gifted him a G-Wagon. But, man, it makes you wonder. When shit like that happens, what were the discussions? You know what I'm saying? What were they talking? What did he and Munguia talk about before the fight? Now, I'm not saying the fight was fixed, but I'm not saying it wasn't. Because why would you not knock him out? And why would you send this man a G-Wagon? I mean, something. And then why would you go and fight him knowing you don't want to deal with De La Hoya? Something doesn't seem right to me. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. It was an entertaining scrap, but some people thought that was a cherry pick. I thought Munguia would have more success. I think I actually had him losing, but I said he could win if he fights the right fight. And he was doing great the first few rounds. But nonetheless, man, for him to go up now and fight Berlanga, people are saying, oh, well, Berlanga, he doesn't have the skills, he doesn't have the IQ, he doesn't have this, and and I can understand Berlanga and his resume compared to Canelo. There's no comparison. But when you start talking about the reach advantage, being damn near 6 inches taller than Canelo, you know, being powerful, working with Angel Heredia, speed is improved, power is improved, IQ is improved, everything's improved with this guy. And to just come out here and say, well, Canelo's just gonna do him like he did Kovalev, I don't think this is the case, people. People may see Berlanga as a cherry. I don't see it that way. But let's say he gets past him. If he gets past him, then what? Because, you know, Canelo's going to tell you he takes every fight serious. He's 100% focused on the task at hand. But he knows that he's been in with all kind of fighters. But after Berlanga, he's going to want to sit back and see what's out there and what he wants to do. Now, the thing about Canelo, I don't think there's anything left for him to fight. Anyone left for him to fight where boxing fans are going to give him credit. I mean, you take a look at what's going on. You got Mbili. Most people don't know who he is. You got Diego Pacheco, who's now ranked in the IBF. He's number 1 by the IBF. Will probably be made the mandatory here within the year. Who's going to give him credit for fighting Mbili? And Mbili can scrap, but most people don't know who Mbili is. Diego Pacheco, he's staying behind his jab and fighting smart now. But who's going to give him credit for fighting Diego Pacheco? The one fight, really, for Canelo Alvarez, because they're going to see those as cherry picks. There's really 2 options for Canelo. And that's why I think he's saying, I'm just going to sit back and just take everything case by case, see what fights are out there for me. And I think he's going to make a decision on whether he wants to fight at 168 or bubble up to 175. At 168, this is where it gets interesting. Because I think even Canelo knows, I feel like I'm in my prime, but deep down when he's at home at night laying down in his Dolce & Gabbana pajamas, looking up at the moon, right, after sipping a Horacha and shit, I know for a fact Canelo's like, man, my mind is telling me no. Nah, don't go do it. My mind is telling me yes. I'm about to sing R. Kelly and shit. My mind's telling me yes. You can go do it. But my body's telling me no. For you to go up to 175 and face the winner. Now, this is where he'll get some credit. The winner of Bivol Beterbiev. That's not a cherry pick, people. If Canelo goes, let's say it don't matter who wins that fight. If Canelo goes and fights either Bivol or Beterbiev, that ain't no cherry pick. And if he beats one of them, he deserves all the credit in the world. Sadly enough, there are people who are going to still try to take credit away from Canelo if he goes up and is able to beat them. I don't think he beats either one, I'm just saying, but that's a good move. The only other thing he can do that won't be seen as a cherry pick, fight Benavidez. Like, Morrell ain't the answer. Morrell looked horrible in his last fight. I don't know what happened with Morrell. Make you wonder when you get a guy that's performing at a high level, and all of a sudden he ends up kind of in a trough and shit, having a tough time recovering, getting out of it, makes you wonder what happened to Morrell. So I don't think, but that may be who Canelo picks, and they're going to say he's cherry picking. But Morrell ain't the fight to make, because Canelo needs a dancing partner. And I just think Benavidez. And then Terrence Crawford is an option, but really, Benavidez. Nobody going to call that shit a cherry pick. Nobody's going to call it a cherry pick. Crawford, I don't think he gets the credit he wants, but Crawford's a slick boxer. But I just don't think he'll get the credit. Benavidez, man, that's the fight. But he just doesn't seem to be interested in doing that, man. And I think that's because he feels Benavidez is just going to come in there, man, and put the bing-bings on him. And I'm going to tell you this. This is something else I want to point out to y'all. I should say this for another video. Angel Heredia worked with David Benavidez already. Now he's working with Berlanga, and he's going into the fight with Canelo, right? If for some reason Berlanga loses, then that helps Angel Heredia say against Canelo, these are the things we worked on. These are the areas where I helped to improve Berlanga, but these are some other things maybe I should have done. And if he goes back to working with David Benavidez, if Benavidez gets a Canelo fight, Angel Heredia is going to be with Benavidez, and he's going to have even more insight to Canelo, and he's going to know exactly how to strategize as far as the strength and conditioning piece. And Canelo's ass is going to be in trouble. That's another thing to look at. And I'm just being real. But anyway, I think Canelo's succumbing to public pressure to see him fight, a non-cherry. I really do. I think they're tired of they're like, yo, I don't mind popping cherries, but yo, Canelo, we don't want to see you doing it. And they're tired of seeing that man do it, man. So he can sit back and say he's just taking things in. He's not sure what he's going to do, but he better figure it out. And when it comes to Turkey Al-Sheikh, he's saying, I'm not begging nobody for anything. I'm not saying I won't work with him. And that means basically he's not totally closing the door on a Terrence Crawford fight. But Canelo Alvarez is out here, and I think he understands there's nowhere else to go. Like, there's at 168, he's backed himself into a corner. He either starts fighting guys in like the top 10, where most people not even gonna know who they are, or he's gonna have to fight these notable names. Like, he's really up shit creek. Like, after Berlanga, Pacheco? You got Crawford, you got Benavidez. I mean, what's he gonna do? And Billy, Crawford and Benavidez. Those two fights will pay him more money than Billy and Pacheco. Especially Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford may be the most out of all the guys he can fight. That may be where he gets the most money. Now, the most risk is Beterbiev Bivol. That's where the most risk is at. But anyway, Canelo. Got to figure it out, because the boxing fans are sitting here watching him. Everybody gives him credit for being the face of boxing. But the best boxer, I don't agree with that. I don't. But if you're looking at a whole person concept, then yeah, you got to give him that label. But just as far as what he can do in the ring, he ain't the best boxer. He can box, but he ain't the best. Anyway, keep cool. Canelo under pressure to not cherry pick, to hold his horses, not take it to the stoop in the breeze.